If the end, if the destination is not in sight, don't worry, it is just the beginning. Many of us need to see the end ahead of us so it can comfort us and drive us forward into the journey, right? But that wish is not granted to us. We can often not see the end. And it is because the end is related to our steps throughout the journey. The steps we take shapes the end. And the steps are often unknown and happening in real time. And that's why the end is also unknown. That's one reason the end is not in sight. The second reason could be that if the end was in sight, you would find it boring. The journey will become very boring and whatnot. But people can often use that to their advantage as well. The end being in sight. How they do it is, when they see the end, they take creative paths to reach there. Make it colorful, right? So in that way one can say the end does not matter. Even if it's fixed and permanent, how I reach there is in my hands. And I'll reach there using my feet, that is in a different way. So even if the end is visible, one might say the journey becomes boring because I know what's at the end of it. But then one can say, okay, I can go there in a creative manner and whatnot. Anyway, but we are talking about the end not being in sight, which invokes a sense of panic in a person. What is one to do then? One of the ways to deal with that panic and uncertainty is that to realize it is just the beginning of the journey. To tell yourself as you move on, the end might become visible. Because there is room to grow, right? A tree does not grow forever. The journey, the striving, the trying ends one day. Similarly, so you can tell yourself it's just the beginning. As I move on, the end will become clear. I have room to grow and whatnot. So it helps you move on that way, right? Anyway, yeah. If the end is not clear, not visible, don't worry, it's just the beginning. And why must the end be visible? This is another question. And the answer to that is so that you can change the end. You understand? This is a different approach. First of all, if the end is visible, you can change how you approach the end. You can become creative and whatnot, and you can say, let the end be the end. How I reach there matters. But then if the end is visible, you can also change the end. You can, if it's not to your liking, you can view the end in another way and take steps towards it that will change the end, right? That's the reason why the end must be visible. Anyway, that's it for the video. Again, if the end is not clear, don't worry, don't panic. It's just the beginning. I have to add this as an afterthought. It just occurred to me because there is different approaches, different state of being for a person for whom the end is known and for whom the end is not known, right? There's a different experience that the person feels. Mainly, I think, I'm not sure how correct this is, but if the end is known, then it becomes a matter of logic and planning and reasoning and rationality and things like that. But if the end is not known, it is unknown, then it becomes something like daring, courage, will, and just pushing yourself. It becomes an illogical thing in a way. Sometimes you need the usage of fantasies and illusions to drive you overconfidence is an illusion, right? And talking to yourself, motivating yourself, things like that, right? So when the end is known, you use rationality, planning, different paths to take, tools you need, steps, friends. But if the end is unknown, then courage, will, something else, experience, passion, illogical things one can say, yeah. Anyway, that's it.